The crystalline halls of the Galactic Council chamber stretched endlessly, filled with representatives from 1,000 worlds. Bioluminescent beings floated beside silicon-based organisms, while methane breathers occupied specialized pods. At the center stood Katniss and Neo, the first human ambassadors to address the Council in its 40,000-year history. Katniss adjusted her translator device, her dark eyes scanning the alien assembly with quiet determination. Beside her, Neo stood with military precision, his hand resting near the data cylinder that contained Earth's formal introduction to the galaxy. Humans. Council Prime Zephractus began, his voice resonating through translation matrices in 1,000 tongues. His elongated form rippled with ancient authority. You come from a world you call Earth, a derivative name, quaint, primitive. Before we grant you observer status, we must know your planet's true designation in the Universal Registry. Katniss and Neo exchanged glances. They had prepared for this moment for months, yet nothing could truly ready someone for what came next. Honored Council, Neo spoke first, his voice steady despite the weight of countless eyes and other sensory organs fixed upon them. Our planet does have a Universal Registry designation, but we must warn you. Warn us? A chittering laugh erupted from Counselor Vixthra, her insectoid mandibles clicking in amusement. Young species always think their worlds are special. We've cataloged 12 million inhabited systems. Your designation will be filed like all others. Katniss stepped forward. With respect, Counselor, every species we've encountered in the preliminary meetings has had the same reaction when we revealed this information. We've learned to offer a warning. Zephractus's photoreceptors dimmed with impatience. Enough delay. Provide your Universal Registry designation. Now. Neo activated the data cylinder. Holographic symbols materialized in the air, ancient markings that predated most civilizations in the chamber. The Universal Registry used a nomenclature system older than recorded history, created by the progenitors who had first mapped the galaxy. The symbols hung there, glowing softly. Then Neo spoke them aloud, his voice carrying the weight of translation through every system simultaneously. Kreshaktharaval Morthanix, the Crucible of Souls, the Death World, the Forge of the Impossible. Silence descended like a physical force. It wasn't the comfortable silence of contemplation. It was the silence of shock, of disbelief, of sudden creeping horror. Across the chamber, beings who had never agreed on anything in millennia wore the same expression of stunned recognition. Counselor Vixthra's carapace went pale. Zephractus's entire form dimmed to near transparency. A gaseous entity in the upper galleries literally destabilized, requiring emergency containment. That's impossible, whispered Ambassador Threll of the Corvaxian Empire. His warrior species known for their conquest of 100 systems. The Crucible is a myth. A cautionary tale we tell children. A Class Omega death world where evolution itself turned genocidal. Katniss's expression remained calm, though her pulse quickened. It's not a myth. We call it Earth. And yes, we're aware of its classification. The chamber erupted, not in discussion, in panic. Gravity. 9.8. Someone shouted, "Oxygen-rich atmosphere!" Another cried. They breathe a corrosive accelerant. Their evolution was dominated by predators. They developed from pursuit hunters. Neo raised his hand and somehow, perhaps because of who they now knew humans to be, the chaos subsided. Let me explain what life on Earth means, he said quietly. The translation carried his words with perfect clarity. Our planet has experienced 5 mass extinctions. Each time life clawed its way back. Our ancestors survived ice ages that would have sterilized most garden worlds. We evolved in competition with megafauna that could crush us with a step. Katniss continued, her voice steady but proud. Our oceans contain predators that have remained unchanged for 400 million years, because they achieved perfection in killing. Our lands host creatures that can outrun, outclimb, or overpower us. Even our plants develop toxins, thorns, and aggressive competition. But you're so fragile, Vixthra whispered. Her earlier confidence shattered. Your bodies are soft. No exoskeleton, no armored hide, no natural weapons. Exactly, Katniss smiled. And there was something ancient in that expression. Something that spoke of a species that had clawed its way to the top of a food chain designed to kill them. We're fragile. We're slow compared to Earth's predators. were weak compared to its megafauna. We have no venom, no claws, no armor. Neo stepped forward. So we developed something else. We developed the most powerful weapon in the known universe, a mind capable of turning the entire planet into a tool. We didn't just survive the crucible. We conquered it. We made it ours. The last species to emerge from a Class Omega world was the Krell Dominion. Zephractus said, his voice hollow. They nearly destroyed the galaxy. It took 12 coalitions and 1,000 years to stop them. We're not the Krell, Katniss said firmly. We learned cooperation because our fragility demanded it. We learned compassion because our young require years of care. We learned innovation because we had to outthink everything trying to kill us. She pulled up another hologram, images of Earth. Not the sanitized versions they'd shown in preliminary meetings, but the real Earth, hurricanes that could level cities, volcanoes that altered global climate, earthquakes that reshaped continents, predators with jaws that could crush steel, microorganisms that could end civilizations. This is what we call home, Neo said. Every single day on Earth is a survival challenge that would kill most species in this chamber within hours. And yet, Katniss added, we looked at this world, this beautiful, terrible, unforgiving world, and we decided it wasn't enough. So we looked up at the stars and said, what's next? The silence returned, but it was different now. It was the silence of understanding, of recognition, of a galaxy realizing that humanity hadn't just come from the crucible. They had been forged by it, shaped by it, made into something that could endure anything. Council Prime Zephractus finally spoke, his voice carrying a weight it hadn't before. Your application for observer status is approved. Unanimously, because frankly, every being in this chamber just realized the same thing. What's that? Neo asked. That if we don't welcome humanity to the galactic community, we'll eventually face you as something else. And if the crucible made you strong enough to seek the stars while still retaining compassion, he paused, then perhaps there's hope for all of us. As Katniss and Neo left the chamber, they could hear the whispers following them, no longer dismissive, no longer amused. Now they carried respect, caution, and something else. Fear. Not fear of what humans were, but fear of what they represented. Proof that the galaxy's worst nightmare could produce its greatest hope. The stars had gone silent when Earth's true name was spoken, but humanity's story was just beginning.